Hello everyone. So we're going to continue our series Coping with COVID, and this is our 15th show, 15th program. So this is going to be a little different, and we're going to talk about a moment of pleasure, if you will. Maybe a little bit of, just let's call it pleasure. If you've been watching these programs over time, I've focused a lot on the 4 pillars of health, and basically saying that as we come out of sheltering in place, we have to wear our mask, we have to social distance and so on. We need to really remember some basics of nutrition, of managing stress, of exercise, of sleep enhancement. And oh gosh, it's hard. And I've kind of pushed you all and said, hey, you really got to focus on what you eat. You got to eat your veggies, if you will. You got to cut back on sugar. You need to get your 30 minutes a day of walking at least. Better to do something else in addition. Get some weights in there. You need 7.5, 8 hours of sleep every night. It just won't do to get less. And you need to manage chronic stress. Of course, we're all stressed. This COVID-19 is certainly causing stress for all of us. So those are those basics. And we got to focus on them. And I've been kind of driving you a little bit and saying you really got to pay attention. And you do. We all do. But it's hard, Do we need a little bit of time off once in a while? I think that's sort of the question today. But just to carry it a little bit further, I did say that I would do some individual programs. I've done one now on nutrition, one on stress. Still need to do sleep and exercise, and they'll come up soon. I've also, a little advertising if you will, have a new book out that I co-authored with my colleague Dr. Harry Oakham called Boom, or Boost Your Own Metabolism, Boost Our Own Metabolism. And the point of this is it gets at those 4 pillars in quite a bit more detail and helps you just kind of do what you need to do. But one of the points we make in there is you really got to stick at it. You got to keep at it. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. Well, okay, so we got to stick at it. But I want to have a little surprise for you today. I'm going to back down just a little. I'm going to back down a little bit and say we also need some pleasure. So, life is tough. We got to wear our mask, got to social distance, got to avoid crowded locations. Of course, the economy stinks. A lot of people are out of jobs. Maybe one of your friends or relatives. Maybe it's you. But anyway, jobs are a problem. We have all the social justice issues going on. We got all the election issues going on. So life is tough right now. Life is tough. And in addition, we're all worried. We're scared. We might get the infection. That's not good. We know of people that we have gotten infected. We probably know of people who have died of the infection. So it's not an easy time right now, I guess is the way to say it. So I read this, actually my wife Carol found this. It was an article by Jason Gay. Jason Gay is a sports writer. But I guess on an off day, he wrote an article in which he said, "You read Ulysses, I'll eat potato chips." That was his title of his article. And what was his basic message? His basic message was, let's have some fun once in a while. We can be focused all the time, but we need to back off every so often and just have a little bit of fun. And we have our long-term goals. We need some short-term goals. And he had a reference, which I've looked up now, and it's by 2 researchers in Europe. They're motivational psychologists. One's in Switzerland and one's in the Netherlands. They published this paper in a respected journal of motivational psychology. I'll have to read it here. It's called Beyond Self-Control. Hedonistic Goal Pursuit and Relevance to Well-Being. Kind of a complex title. I think what it says is, let's have some fun. So here's just a quote from them. "We should start appreciating that short-term pleasure is as important as in our everyday lives because they contribute to our well-being. So yeah, we got to focus on our long-term goals. We want to stay healthy. We want to live a long time. And that's going to make us happy too. But right now, maybe today, We need some short-term pleasure. So you see here the picture that went with that article by Jason Gay. He's laying on his sofa there, eating his potato chips, which he likes to do with whipped cream, by the way. And you know, and his wife and kid are looking over at him, saying, "What is going on here?" But anyway, he's having fun and saying, "Hey, life is better this way." So what are the implications of this? The implications are, again, I'll read a quote: "Short-term pleasurable goals that don't lead to long-term goals still contribute to a happy life." It's okay to do some things once in a while that don't go toward those long-term goals of health and a long age. Well, if you go back to my book for a minute, and what everybody says and what I've been saying is we got to have self-control. Self-control is critical. You know, we got to avoid everything with sugar. We got to avoid everything with fat. We got to, you know, do our exercise every day and so on. Well, yes, we do. But every so often, let's have a little pleasure. It is very important to a satisfied life. So I know a little surprise coming from me, but you know, it is true. And I thought it was important that since I've been pushing you all toward those long-term goals, to, you know, lighten up a bit and just say all things in moderation. But you've also heard me say, and particularly in our shows with Carol Jones, we often say all things in moderation. And I've told you in the past that I certainly like a chocolate chip cookie every so often. And so I brought a few chocolate chip cookies along. And then, of course, some peanuts. They're healthy, but this one comes with M&Ms in it. Makes it even better. And then, of course, to stick with the show here, Jason Gay, he was into potato chips. So if you'll excuse me for a minute, I'm actually going to take my mask off, because we're outside and I think it's probably safe, because I'm going to open up this bag of potato chips and I'm going to let you hear me take a crunch. Okay, that was good. And you can be sure I'll go back to that bag in a little while. So, message today, it's okay. But each of these bags I held up was pretty small. It's okay, though, to have some fun, whether that's with food or just, you know, whatever pleasure it is for you. Get off the treadmill, enjoy life, but then remember to get back to doing the things we need to do. Thanks so much.